So, hi everyone, and welcome to our new lecture, which is all about understanding bond markets. So, in this lecture, you're going to learn what is the use of bonds, how do bond markets can able to improve the cash flow of the institution or organization, and how could it affect the overall financial performance of a company. So let's start first with the purpose, which is the primary purpose of bond markets is to facilitate the flow of capital between borrowers and lenders. Governments and corporations utilize bonds to raise funds for various purposes such as infrastructure projects, expansion, and debt refinancing. So normally class no, ang reason kung bakit merong bond markets is kinoconnect niya yung mga borrowers at mga lenders kasi there are some institution, there are some individual na merong sobrang pera. At yun nga no, dun yung sobrang pera na yun is hinihiram ng mga borrowers for different reasons, no? It's either government or corporation. So pwedeng yun nga no, nagre-raise sila ng funds para makapagpatayo ng infrastructure projects. If this is a corporate government, kung yan naman ay company para makapagpatayo ng bagong planta. Pwede rin naman in terms of expansion para for let's say 100 branches yung current nila, then they want to expand to 150 branches. It's an example of that. And also debt refinancing, let's say medyo mababa yung net profit nila. So kailangan nila magbayad ng current utang nila. So they need additional fund para ma-refinance yung mga current liabilities nila. On the other side, investors ranging from individual retail investors to institutional players use bonds as a means to generate stable income and diversify their investment portfolios. So normally naman class ang ginagawa talaga ng mga investors is dinadiversify nila. Ang kagandahan kasi sa bond is that less risk siya. Lalo na kung ang bond na yan ay government bonds. Kasi normally, talagang binabayaran naman talaga ng government and ang government naman ay nandyan palagi, no? So, therefore, in terms of risk, hindi siya mataas yung risk, no? Pero in terms of return, syempre, hindi siya sobrang taas compared to other financial instruments. So let's define what is a bond. A bond market are essentially platforms where debt, instruments, or bonds are bought and sold. In a bond transaction, the issuer borrows funds from the investors, promising periodic interest payments and the return of the principal amount at the bond's maturity. So, 'di ba, no, normally, pwede kang mangutang sa bank, no, for loans. Pero this is another way to create funds, which is um yun nga no, pag nag-issue ka kasi ng bonds, parang nangungutang ka hindi sa bangko. So parang nangungutang ka sa mga investors. Kasi nga sabi nga dito no, the issuer borrows funds from the investors promising periodic interest payments. So kung saan pag bumili sila ng bonds sa'yo, yun nga, parang nangutang ka sa kanila, kailangan mong i-return yung interest plus yung principal. Okay? So, that's how it goes. So, first, let's proceed, no? The importance of bond markets play a vital role in maintaining economic stability by providing a reliable avenue for financing. Governments use this market to fund public projects, while corporations leverage them for business operation. So, kagaya nga ng sinabi ko, yung bond kasi nakakatulong sa economic stability. Okay? Kasi isipin nyo, for example, kung walang pondo ang government, no, with the use of bonds, paano nila ipapatayo yung mga public projects nila? Okay? So, saan sila kukuha ng pondo? Of course, the one sources could be the taxes, but to be honest with you, it is not enough, no? Hindi enough yung tax lang. So therefore, they need to find other means to raise funds, which is through bond nga. On the other hand, the corporation, they are trying to leverage, no? Which means, kunyari, alam nila na on-demand tong ganitong mga products and services. Kung kukunin nila yan sa sarili nilang pera, possible hindi enough, no? So, in order for them to leverage, no? Yun nga, magre-raise sila ng fund using the bond market or bonds. Nang sa ganun, ay ma-maximize nila yung demand at in return, syempre, ibabalik nila yung interest and principal to the investors. For investors, bonds offer a relatively secure investment option with predictable returns, making them an essential tool for risk management and wealth preservation. So akala natin na ang bond is, yun nga, pang-raise funds. Pero on the perspective of the investors, number one is ginagamit siya for risk management. For example, I have, let's say, 1 million pesos. Hindi 1 million ilalagay ko sa bonds, no? Kasi nga, ano yun eh, yung interest nun or return nun is, ano lang, yung regular lang, no? Parang ganon. Unlike kasi pag when you put that in an equity instrument, possible, mas mataas yung return. But, mas mataas din yung risk. So, to cut the story short, kunyari, I have 1 million, I invested 500,000 to bond, 500,000 to equity. So, yung equity, in case lang na hindi magandang performance, may sasalo sa'yo, which is the bond. Kasi ngayon, regular interest payment, periodic yun. So, kumbaga, pag natalo ka dun sa isa, at least meron kang isang sumasalo. Okay? But, ang kagandahan naman nun, if nag-perform yung equity instrument mo, edi na-maximize mo yung potential profit mo. Nagigets nyo yung logic class, diba? Parang si bond, pang salo, pag natatalo ka sa isang investment. Okay? Kasi nga, regular may periodic payments yan. And then kasi sa equity instrument, minsan, bababa yung value, minsan tataas. So, mas mataas ang risk. Pero, yun nga, pag natsambahan mo na mataas yung return, edi, ano ka, diba? Panalong-panalo ka kasi may bond ka na. You're earning from bonds, and then you're earning also from equity. So, yun yung kagandahan nun. So, again, when you're going to have investment, you need to diversify, no? You need to diversify because if ipuput mo lahat ng pera mo dun sa equity instrument, at pag natalo ka, talo ka, diba? Ngayon, sasabihin nyo naman, di lahat na lang sa bond. Ang magiging loss mo naman dun is the opportunity to have more returns or to have more profits. Kasi nga, regular lang yung periodic payments Parang ganito lang yung amount niya lagi. So, kumbaga, hindi natin na-maximize yung possible demand kasi nga, hindi tayo nag-risk dun sa mas mataas ang risk which will give more return. So, sana naintindihan yun. So, let's proceed with the types of bonds and their characteristics. So, exploring bond diversity. Overview. So, bonds come in different forms, each tailored to meet specific needs. Government bonds, issued sovereign entities, are considered low risk, while corporate bonds are issued by companies to raise capital. Municipal bonds fund local government projects, providing a district investment avenue. So, dito sa pag-uusapan natin sa type of bonds, makikita natin na may type of bonds, depende sa risk niya, depende rin sa gamit, at depende din sa project na pupuntuhan. Other types include agency bonds that includes mortgage-backed securities and treasury inflation-protected securities. So, mortgage-backed securities, from the keyword mortgage, this securities is focusing more on for example, the real estate, the chattel mortgage, the vehicles. While the treasury inflation protected security is, yun nga, kunyari sa government yan, treasury yan, na kung for example, ang inflation rate is 4%, dapat yung interest rate is more than the inflation rate. Kasi, pag yung inflation rate is 4%, then yung interest rate lang nung nilagay mo sa treasury is 3%, parang nung nilagay mo yung pera doon sa treasury, natalo ka pa ng 1%. At diba ang objective natin is to earn more, 'di ba? So doon yun yung parang ano nung treasury, inflation protected securities. They try to fight inflation. Maturity. Bonds have varying maturities ranging from short term to long term. So short term bonds typically mature in 1 to 3 years rather, offering quick returns. Another one is the medium term bonds. May have maturities between 4 to 10 years, providing a balance between risk and reward. And at the same time, long-term bonds with maturities exceeding 10 years are associated with higher risk and potential higher returns. So dito nakikita natin na may mga characteristic ang bonds based on maturity. Pag short term, 1 to 3 years. Pag medium, 4 to 10. Pag long term, 10 years and higher. But of course, meron siyang mga pros and cons. For example, let's say, ikaw, yung company nyo, no, meron kayong surplus na cash, and alam mo alam mo sa sarili mo na kailangan mong makuha agad yung pera na yon. Syempre, hindi ka mag-i-invest sa medium term at sa long term. Pupunta ka sa short term kasi nga 1 to 3 years yon. So, possible kasi na yung in-invest mo dito, gagamitin mo for business operation, 'di ba? So, ganun yun, class, kasi hindi talaga pwedeng patulugin natin yung pera. If you have surplus cash, no, meron kang mga idle cash, dapat yan, kung ikaw yung financial manager, ilalagay mo siya sa isang financial instruments para hindi siya matutulog lang sa bangko, kasi ang bangko, magkano lang interest rate niyan, di ba? So, dapat, you have to maximize the profit. Kumbaga, to cut the story short, you have to make your money work for you. Okay? While yung business nag-ooperate, nakakapagbenta ka ng products and services, you earn profit, yung perang sobra mo, kumikita din ang sa kanya. 'Di ba? So, it's a passive income. Then, of course, we have the medium term. So, for example, no, yung pera mo naman is, sa tingin mo, is hindi mo naman gagamitin agad, and parang for 5 years or 10 years siya gagamitin, it's better to invest in the medium term. Okay? But if your money, no, if sa tingin nyo, yung money nyo talaga is hindi gagamitin for a long term, ayan, long term bonds yung pwede. But of course, higher risk yan, pero higher return din. So next is the coupon payments. So bonds may have fixed or floating interest rates, wherein fixed rates bonds pay a predetermined interest rate throughout their life, providing stability in income. Floating rate bonds, on the other hand, have variable interest rates linked to benchmark rates, offering a degree of flexibility. So, may mga coupon payments, class, na pag, kunyari, no, when we pay the investors, meron siyang parang predetermined interest rate. So, parang fixed na yun, no? Pero may tinatawag din na floating, no? Pag sinabing floating, ito yung parang it varies. Minsan tataas, minsan bababa. So, depende nga dun sa benchmark, okay? It could be also related to equity, to the performance of the business, sabi ganun. So, depende, no? Yun yung floating rate. So, floating, variable siya. Yung fixed, yung regular siya. Credit quality. The creditworthiness of issuers is a crucial factor in bond investing. Bonds are categorized based on credit quality into investment grade and high yield or junk bonds. Investment grade bonds are considered safer investments, while high yield bonds offer higher potential returns but come with increased risk. So normally, no, yung credit worthiness of issuers, ito yung parang, let's say, company A, and then itong company A ba na to ay stable company or hindi siya stable? Kasi pag siya ay hindi stable, possible pag nag-issue siya ng bonds is high yield bonds yun. Kasi nga, um, possible din, may risk kasi yun. Okay? While for stable companies, let's say San Miguel Corporation, these are considered investment grade bonds kasi nga we know already San Miguel Corporation as a safe company. Factors affecting bond prices. First is interest rates. One of the primary factors impacting bond prices is interest rates. Bonds and interest rates have an inverse relationship. When interest rates rise, existing bonds prices tend to fall, and vice versa. The relationship is rooted in the opportunity cost for investor. Higher interest rates make newly issued bonds more attractive, diminishing the value of existing bonds with lower rates. So dito, nakikita natin na yun nga no, nakakaapekto yung interest rate dun sa bond prices. Okay? So meron siyang inverse relation. So kunyari no, yung interest rate tumaas, okay? Pwedeng yung existing bond prices tend to fall. Okay? Kasi nga interest rates affects no yung sa investors, okay? Kasi for example, um, ang interest rate is 5%, then let's say yung bond prices mo is in-offer ban is 4%. So, syempre, it will fall. Kasi nga, mas pipiliin nung ibang investor, yung other instruments. Credit risk. The creditworthiness of bond issuers directly affects bond prices. Higher risk leads to lower bond prices, wherein investors demand higher yields to compensate for the increased risk associated with bonds from less creditworthy issuers. Conversely, bonds from financial stable entities command higher prices due to their perceived lower risks. So, yun nga, no? Ginagawa ng ibang mga stable company, they put their bond into higher prices kasi nga, they are considered lower prices. Unlike sa mga, yun nga, no? Yung mga high risk company or high credit risk, lower lang nila yung bond prices. Okay? Next is market conditions. So, supply and demand dynamics in the bond market play a significant role in price determination. If there is increased demand for a particular bond, its price may rise. Conversely, heightened selling pressure can lead to lower prices. Market conditions are influenced by various factors, including economic indicators, investor sentiment, and geopolitical investment. So, yung normally talaga, no, kahit naman saan, whether yan ay commodities or even stocks, nakaka-apekto talaga yung supply and demand. Okay? At depende pa yan sa market condition. Kung tumataas ang ekonomiya, no? Mataas ba ang inflation rate, mataas ba ang GDP ng isang bansa, mga ganun. Ganun din, investor sentiment, ano ba yung napupusuan ng mga investors? Do they want to focus, do they see putting their money in the bond market or equity market, and even geopolitical events. So, meron bang mga political issues that could affect the financial industry, yung mga ganun. Economic indicators such as inflation rate, GDP growth, and employment figures can impact bond prices. For instance, rising inflation may lead to higher interest rates, affecting bond prices. Understanding these indicators enable investors to anticipate potential shifts in the bond market and adjust their portfolios accordingly. So, yun nga, no, pag tumataas daw ang inflation rate, apektado din yung bond prices, kailangan taasan din. So, therefore, nakaka-apekto talaga yan sa ekonomiya. Factors affecting bond yields. Yield definition. The yield of a bond is essentially the return an investor can expect over the bond's lifespan. It is expressed as percentage and consists of both the periodic interest payment or coupon and any potential capital gains or losses upon maturity of sale. So, yun yung definition, no? Ilang percent ba or return ang makukuha ng investor over the maturity date or the bond lifespan. 10% ba? 20%? So, it matters kasi nga, syempre, ilalagay ko yung pera doon. So therefore, I'm expecting something in return. Kung yan ay 10%, so dapat in the 5 years, makuha ko yung additional 10% if nilagay ko yung pera ko, bumili ako ng 1 million worth of bonds. So if I'm expecting 10%, dapat after 5 years, it will turn into 1,100,000 pesos. Relationship with price. The relationship between bond prices and yield is inverse. As bond prices rises, yields fall. Vice versa, this relationship is crucial for our investors to comprehend, as it reflects the opportunity cost associated with holding a particular bond. Higher bond prices result in lower yields, and lower prices lead to higher yields. So, sabi nga dito na pag tumataas na yung bond prices, bumababa yung yield o yung percentage of return. Vice versa, kung mababa ang prices, mataas ang yield or mas mataas yung return. For example, let's say tumaas yung bond prices. So, let's say 5% na lang yung yield. Pero pag bumaba yung bond prices, possible maging 20% yung yield. And of course, we have the yield curve. The yield curve is a graphical representation of yields for bonds of different maturities, provides valuable insights. A normal yield curve slopes upwards, indicating higher yields for long-term bonds. An inverted yield curve, where short-term yields surpass long-term yields, can be a signal of economic uncertainty or an impending recession. So, lumalabas dito daw na, yun nga, yung mga long-term bonds, no, normally, pataas yan, no, upward. Pero kung kunyari, no, nagkakaroon ng inverted yield curve, kung saan yung short-term will surpass the long-term, diba? Kunyari, ito yung long-term. Okay? Ito yung long-term. Tapos, ito yung short-term. For example, no, yung short-term, parang nataasan pa niya, no, yung yield. Ibig sabihin nun, possible may economic uncertainty or recession kasi dapat mas mataas yung long term, no, sa short term. Ayan, dapat mababa yun. Pero kung gumanon, there's something wrong, no? Possible magkaroon ng recession. Risk and reward, no? Yield serves as a compensation for the risk associated with a particular bond. High quality, low risk bonds typically offer lower yields, providing stability and security. In contrast, riskier bonds, such as high yield or junk bonds, offer higher yields to attract investors willing to take on increased risk. So, ganun lang naman ang connotation dyan, no? The higher the risk, the higher the return. Okay? Return. The lower the risk, okay, the lower the return. So, that's exactly yun nangyayari. Okay? So, that would be all, and thank you so much for listening.